1. Complete this text. Okay, so Sarah, I see you eat soup every day at work. Why are you eating soup every day? That's because I love to cook soup. So you make the soup? Yes, it's very easy to make. So you cook it and then you just bring it to work every day? Yeah, I just make a lot on Monday and then I bring it to work every day of the week. Oh, nice. So how do you make the soup? What's your secret? Well, I like to cook very easy, so I buy meat that's already cut up, usually chicken, and then some rice, usually brown rice, and then I buy some vegetables. So after I bought the ingredients, I chop them up and I put them all together in water until boils and add some seasoning. Okay, so you say the water boils. So as soon as the water boils, that's when you put in all the ingredients? Yeah, that's right. So you don't put in the ingredients before the water boils? No, I guess it's just easier for the water to be hot because then the vegetables and the meat cook a little faster. So how do you give the soup flavoring? I usually add salt and pepper, maybe some garlic, and depending on the type of soup, either maybe some soy sauce or a lemon juice. Okay, do you put in the flavoring after you put in the ingredients or before you put in the ingredients? Maybe after, but usually right about all the same time. Okay, so I just put everything in at one time. And then after you cook the soup, do you put the soup in the refrigerator? Do you let it sit outside? I usually eat some right then and I also put in containers for the week, but I let it sit in the containers out on the counter for a while for it to cool before I put in the refrigerator. Alright, and so you don't put it in the refrigerator until it's cold, until it's about room temperature. Okay, nice. And then how do you heat it up? Do you heat it up in a pot or do you heat it up in the microwave? In the microwave, it's the easiest. Yeah, nice. So you make enough for 5 meals? Maybe sometimes if I think I will get tired of eating it during the week, then maybe I'll just make enough for 3 or 4 meals. But if it's some kind that I think it's really delicious and I know I want to eat it every day, then I'll make a lot. Well, if that happens, when you make the soup, you can make it for 6 or 7 and give me a bowl. Okay, I'll do that next time. Oh, great, thanks. Part 2. Answer the question correctly. Number 1. When is Steve going out with Jennifer? The answer is Steve going out on a date with Jennifer this coming Saturday night. Number 2. Where is the movie theater? The answer is the movie theater is the second building on the right. It's next to the church. Number 3. What is the favorite restaurant and why does the restaurant become favorite? The answer is the Pink Flamingo because they serve excellent Spanish food. Number 4. Where is the location of the favorite restaurant? The answer is the Pink Flamingo is the building just before the river on the left side. Number 5. Retell that conversation using your own word. Describe in detail information about the people talking about. The answer is on the upcoming Saturday night, Steve asked Jennifer out on a date. The plan was for Steve to take Jennifer to watch a movie, but Steve didn't know where the theater was, so he asked Renee. Renee is confused why he suddenly asked her about the location of the theater, and then Steve answered that he was going on a date with Jennifer. Renee informed that the theater is the second building on the right. It's across the street from the church. After that, he asked again about a restaurant recommendation, to which Renee replied that the Pink Flamingo provides excellent Spanish food. When he asked where it was, Renee said to start at the Cinema Drive South on Pine Street, cross 2nd Street, and turn right on 3rd Street. A parking lot may be found on the left side of the road. Pink Flamingo is a building on the left side of the river. Directly before it, after that, he asked the last question, which is where he can buy flowers. because he wanted to celebrate Jennifer's birthday, but Renee only knows one place that is in front of the stadium on 2nd Street. Listening Part 3. The work of the Brother Grimms with the title The Dog and Sparrow tells the story of a shepherd's dog who is not treated and left to starve by his master. In the end, he can stand it and lives with the sad mood and meets a sparrow. Then the sparrow asks why the dog was sad. Then the dog replied that he was very hungry. Then the sparrow asked the dog to go to the city because there they would meet a lot of food. First, they found a butcher's shop, and the dog was told to stand there. Later, the sparrow would peck a piece of meat that was on the shelf so that it fell and the dog can eat it. After eating the meat, the sparrow asked the dog if he wants to eat another meat, and the answer is yes. So they looked for the butcher's shop again, and finally the dog ate the meat for a second time. And the sparrow asked if the dog was full or wanted to eat meat again, but the dog said he wanted to eat bread. And the sparrow found a bakery shop and packed 2 rolls that were lying on the window. Then the dog ate them. Because the dog still wanted to eat more bread, then the sparrow took him to another bakery, and in the end, the dog was full. The sparrow took the dog for a little walk out of town, but because the weather was warm and the dog felt very tired, the dog finally decided to take a nap while the sparrow perched on the bushes, while the dog was sleeping. A man came, a wagon with a chariot drawn by 3 horses and filled with 2 barrels of wine. Then the sparrow stopped the carter, but the carter didn't want to stop, and finally ran over the dog without caring about the dead dog. The carter continued his journey by crushing the dog's body until it was crushed. The sparrow didn't accept his friend being treated like that, so he pecked one of the barrel lids until all the wine was gone. But Carter didn't notice. He looked around and saw the cart was dripping and saw the barrel was quite empty. Then the sparrow perched on one of the horse's head and said, "Not rich enough yet." Because he was annoyed with the sparrow, finally he took out his axe and pointed his axe at the sparrow, but unfortunately it hit one of the horses, so the horse died. The incident repeated until the last horse died. Then he went home on foot, leaving his cart in anger, and told his wife that the horses were all dead. The wife told her husband that there was an evil bird that brought her flock of friends and ate the corn in their field. The cartman, seeing that he had lost everything he had, went to his kitchen and still doesn't regret what he's done, but sits furiously and sullenly in the corner of the chimney. But the sparrow sat outside the window and shouted, "Carter, your cruelty will take your life." With that he jumped up in anger, took his axe and threw it at the sparrow, but it missed, and just broke the window. Carter was very angry and destroyed the furniture in his house. In the end, they caught a sparrow, and his wife wanted to kill the sparrow immediately, but the husband said, "Don't be too easy," so he wanted to eat the sparrow. Then the sparrow began to flutter and stretched out her neck and cried, "Carter, it shall cost thee thy life yet." In annoyance, he ordered his wife to kill the sparrow in his hand, but she missed her aim and hit her husband's head so that he fell dead, and the sparrow flew home peacefully to his nest.